Here he comes, everyone. Here he comes. And I have to ask you, what is the person, the event, or the situation that you're most thankful for?
Oh my God, my family, my children. Baby, come here. My daughter, my love.
Did you guys make your way to set at all? Did you watch Dad do his thing?
Oh my God.
Yes, we were there for most of the time. It was incredible.
So Lola did, she does a lot of dance, and you tell the story.
Well, me and my friends choreographed a dance routine to Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa. And then my dad loved the dance, and so he put it in the movie.
And so Marlo loved it, and she dances, and so we put it in as like a little dream sequence.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you are.
Lola Momoa has remained relatively quiet about her famous parents, until now. In a surprising turn of events, Jason Momoa's daughter has chosen to speak up, hinting at untold stories and hidden struggles that even the most devoted fans never saw coming. She's pulling back the curtain on a private world, and her words may change the way you see her father forever. From the outside, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet had a partnership that almost seemed magical. She radiated a calm, grounded energy that drew people in, while he brought the rugged charisma of a big-screen action hero. Their social media posts and rare joint appearances showed a family that exuded warmth, creativity, and a carefree spirit. Surf trips in Hawaii, wilderness adventures, and spontaneous getaways painted a picture of parents who adored each other and were raising their children to embrace nature and self-expression. But Lola noticed that what the public saw wasn't the full story. There were glimpses of tension, stray remarks that felt off, moments of awkward silence that only someone living in the home could detect. As much as the world saw a model couple who did everything together, small signs hinted at deeper troubles behind the scenes. It was as if the perfect portrait was already cracking, even if no one else realized it. The family's mystique grew over time. Hollywood tabloids lauded them as a rare success story, an influential actress who carved her own path, and a rising star who seemed willing to do anything for the love of his life. Their children, Lola and her younger brother, Nakoa Wolf, appeared in occasional red carpet photos, smiling shyly next to their larger-than-life father. But even the biggest smiles can mask what's really happening underneath. Before anyone knew it, stories of missed calls, late-night disagreements, and whispered arguments began to surface. A few close friends suspected all was not well, but nothing was ever confirmed. For Lola, each day brought a new question. Was this home as stable as everyone believed, or was it just a polished front? And it turns out those tiny cracks were only the beginning. On social media, everything remained picture perfect. But behind closed doors, Lola sensed an undercurrent of unrest. Small disagreements between her parents escalated into tense silences, lasting hours, or sometimes days. Lisa, typically calm and introspective, seemed more withdrawn. Jason, for his part, appeared torn between his enthusiasm for new projects and an awareness that his family needed more of his presence. When he was gone, the house felt unbalanced. When he returned, it often felt like they were all walking on eggshells, never wanting to push him away or cause another argument. Lola found herself caught in a tug-of-war between her mother's quiet strain and her father's electrifying yet distant presence. She longed for the father she once knew, the fun-loving man who'd sweep her into his arms for a hug and invite her along on wild adventures. Yet the bigger Jason's career grew, the more it demanded of him. He was contractually tied to massive franchises. Red carpet events, overseas shoots, and press tours left little room for the simple joys of family life. As he poured himself into these roles, Lola began to question whether he recognized how much his absence stung. Meanwhile, Lisa carried an unspoken sadness, fueling gossip columns that questioned when, or if, the family bubble would burst. And then the world discovered the answer through a single announcement. In a simple public statement, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet confirmed what insiders had suspected for months. They were parting ways. Their words were graceful, speaking of mutual respect and continued love for each other. But for Lola, that press release felt like a final blow. It was one thing to see her parents fighting, it was another to realize their marriage was truly over. Friends and fans rushed to social media, many expressing disbelief. Hadn't they just seen heartwarming photos of the family enjoying time together? Lisa and Jason looked so committed to making things work. Yet behind those fleeting images lay years of unresolved problems that no one outside the family could fully understand. Lola struggled to navigate this new reality. One home was now two. Weekly routines splintered. She tried to remain neutral, but that proved harder than she ever imagined. At times, her mother's grief weighed on her like a heavy blanket. Other times, she missed Jason more than she thought possible. And always, there was the faint notion that her father could have done something, anything, to keep them together. Still, the separation itself was not the full story. What came next would reveal just how deeply the wounds ran. At the height of her emotions, Lola reportedly vented to a close friend. In that heated conversation, she allegedly referred to her father in terms no one expected. "He's pure evil." It was an explosive statement that startled even those who knew her well. Did she truly mean it, or was it a cry of frustration from someone who felt betrayed? To be clear, few believe Jason Momoa is malicious or cruel. But from Lola's vantage point, the relentless travel, the emotional absence, and the growing tension in their household felt like a betrayal. She remembered a time when he was entirely devoted to the family. Now it seemed like he was always occupied with new commitments or lost in Hollywood's spotlight. For a child, evil can simply mean someone you once adored has now become unrecognizable. The father who used to sling her onto his shoulders and make her laugh was overshadowed by a man racing to movie sets and red carpet events. Whether or not Lola believed every harsh word she used is debatable, but the depth of her hurt was obvious to those around her. In her eyes, he had chosen something else, something bigger, grander, and more enticing, over the family that once meant the world to him. As rumors circulated, people began to realize that the Momoa family story was far more complex than most knew. After the divorce became final, insiders noticed a shift in Jason Momoa's behavior. Perhaps the reality of losing his family woke him to the consequences of his choices. He began making more deliberate efforts to connect with Lola and her brother, doing simple, down-to-earth activities that reminded them of earlier days. Reports mention him taking the kids to concerts, planning special outings, and encouraging them to join him at movie premieres. It wasn't a grand gesture of atonement, but it was a meaningful start. By showing up for these experiences, Jason hoped to prove he was finally paying attention, not just to the next big role, but to his children's everyday lives. Lola's reaction to this change has been guarded, according to those close to her. She still loves her father, but trust is hard to rebuild once it's been damaged. Words matter, but so do actions. And for years, what she saw was a man chasing cinematic glory instead of investing in family milestones. Rebuilding a bond frayed by years of distance and disappointment will take time. Yet there are signs that with every small step, the family grows closer to something new, even if it will never again be what it once was. Lola's revelations serve as a poignant reminder that fame doesn't always equal fulfillment. Behind the polished snapshots of Jason Momoa's life as a beloved movie star lay a far more complicated reality, one where a daughter felt her father slipping away, and a marriage couldn't withstand the weight of success. In the end, it's neither a fairy tale nor a nightmare. It's a story of human imperfection, where genuine love got tangled in ambition and communication fell through the cracks. Lola's candid admissions may surprise those who only saw Jason as the fun-loving hero of superhero films or the devoted partner by Lisa Bonet's side. But life isn't defined by Instagram highlights or glowing interviews. It's shaped by the quiet moments of connection or disconnection between the people who matter most. Will Jason's renewed efforts to be present for Lola and her brother mend the distance that's built up over time? Is there a chance for them to discover a deeper bond born from honest conversation and shared experiences? Those answers remain uncertain, and perhaps that's the real lesson. No matter how grand our dreams, the relationships we forge at home require just as much energy and devotion. For more of the latest content, check out this video.